I'm Will with DragonConTV, and we're here with the cast of Farscape, several of the cast members. I've got Rebecca, Lonnie, Gigi, and Anthony. Hey, y'all, welcome.
Hi, Will.
Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have you. It's always wonderful having you here at DragonCon. Now, am I mistaken, or this year marked 20 years of Farscape? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
How could it possibly be?
I know. That's just great. Have you found that your fans have changed over the last 20 years? Are you getting new fans, especially with streaming here in the US? I think it's on Amazon Prime now.
I heard that it's streaming on Amazon Prime, but I think there's 2 or 3 generations that we haven't actually met of fans, so that's going to be exciting.
The whole reason why Farscape came back for Peacekeeper Wars was because the fans, it was because of their love and encouragement for it.
Wonderful.
So there's been some serious talks that Farscape may be returning with original cast members.
Ooh.
So we're
Let's talk more about that,
Let's
please.
do that, please. Let's do that. Hurry up.
If
I'll have my
Farscape,
wheelie walker.
Yeah, you know, we're all getting old and fat and dying. Can you hurry up? You can't milk it anymore.
well, we're seeing a revival of a lot of shows on streaming, on television, in the movies. If Farscape were to come back, what would be your ideal scenario? What would just make you have to say yes? No ifs, ands, or buts. I have to come back.
It would be good that we had the whole crew back together again, you know, like all the original cast would be pretty extraordinary, because I think that's obviously a huge reason why the show was so successful, because it was very organic and it was very raw and it was like some crazy family screwed up in space. To me, I wasn't a huge sci-fi fanatic before Farscape because I'd never really connected with a sci-fi before. But I'm sorry.
Anthony is just exuding excitement right now. He is really having a great time.
So I think that's one of the reasons why it resonates so deeply with people as well. It's a Jim Henson production, and anything that the Henson Company touches gold. You look at the Muppets, the Dark Crystal, the Labyrinth. Dark Crystal is coming back to Netflix as well. So there's a lot of movement going on.
I also think it was amazing that we left Farscape with a lot of babies being born.
Sure.
There's this kind of, you know, from my perspective, there's this really interesting narrative possibilities in that.
That's great.
I certainly have in my mind this child, you know, for whatever reason, I've imagined the child that Grazer would have had and the relationship they would have had and the power.
That would be interesting.
Well, the power she would have wielded through this girl in my imagination anyway. So I'm intrigued by that idea.
With new fans coming in, with previous fans, of course, just growing, what do you see Farscape's impact in our society today being, even different from 20 years ago when it first started?
In terms of storytelling, one of the things that I found really interesting was the kind of visual stamp that we created, which was I seemed to see it on Battlestar Galactica.
Sure.
And interestingly, the new show that I'm watching right now, Another Life, there's sort of shades of what we did before, but in a whole new generation. So, you know, I think Farscape put a stamp on storytelling and sci-fi storytelling. So that's interesting. So where it goes from here is going to be interesting, I think.
That sounds fantastic.
I also love the fact that it's morally ambiguous. The good guys do some fairly dodgy stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, we like
the
that.
bad guys are simply misunderstood. You know, that
Much
thing.
like real life can be at times.
And I thought that science fiction sometimes is very black and white. I love the grey.
That's wonderful.
My guy hasn't seen a lot of it, so we decided to do a bit of a rewatch. And the old series holds up really beautifully because of the practical effects and the computer graphics. Like, the graphics were extraordinary.
And the design was magnificent. I mean, the visual design on that show, because it was done in Australia on the smell of an oily rag, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extraordinary people like Dave and Lou Elsie, who are remarkable shining lights in terms of what they do, and all the people, the puppeteers, the visual aspect of that show was inspiring to me.
Yeah, it's very.
I actually rewatched the first episode last night just to kind of refresh myself, and you're right, everything holds up, from the lighting, the character design, everything worked really well. And one thing I was wondering is, did you feel immersed when you would go on, camera? Did you feel like it was easy to just go right into character because of all the elements around you?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like you'd read a script and you'd be, you know, oh, I'm going to visit a new planet, you know, or a new tribe or a new species tomorrow, and your mind would just be blown when you got onto set because it was that perfect combination of the prosthetics, the makeup, the creatures, the computer graphics, everything was just beautiful.
And you know what?
Together.
It was, you know, I don't know if you can tell this on screen, but it was texturally beautiful too. I mean, the costume I was wearing was good to wear. The leather was good. The velvet was good. You know, there was that element to it too, which is awesome for us. I think it was. And the puppets were extraordinary to work with.
You didn't need to act.
No,
It was just
they
like
were.
surrender.
That's wonderful.
They were absolutely characters.
Yeah.
So that was a gift to us.
Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again in a day or so. Thank you, and we look forward to having you here.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
We had to work with for 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
That was my love interest.